Good evening, sir.
Good
Myself,
evening.
Ashish Henrik, along with Hana Afridi and all the other executive members of Mechanical Engineering Society of NIT Silchar, welcome you to the fourth episode of the Variety Podcast. The Variety Podcast is an initiative to have an interactive session with distinguished personalities so that we may gain some knowledge and insights from their valuable experience and hard work that they have put throughout the years. Our today's guest is Dr. S. Nadaraja Pillai, who is the professor of Aerospace Engineering, School of Mechanical Engineering in Shastra University. We thank you for taking the time to come to our podcast, sir.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So to begin with, sir, we request you to give a quick insight into your journey so far.
Yeah. So actually, I was basically an aerospace engineer. I did my BTech in aerospace engineering, and then I did my masters by research in aerodynamics in Madras Institute of Technology, Anna University. Then I moved to Japan for my PhD. I did my PhD in wind engineering and industrial aerodynamics in Tokyo Polytechnic University, Japan. It's almost like nearly some 70-80 kilometers from the Tokyo city. And I did my PhD under Professor Yukio Tamura, who is one of the famous professor in the world on wind engineering. Then I joined in a company called Vestas Technology R&D, and I worked there for some time, and then I moved to the universities. I have some good experience on postdoctoral research also. So presently, I'm working in Shastra University as a professor. I do research on aerodynamics, computational fluid dynamics, wind turbine aerodynamics, wind tunnel testing, and so on. I have some PhD students, master students, and undergraduate students in my laboratory. Uh, I am the in charge for aerodynamics lab, turbulence and flow control lab. There are many students, they are working under my guidance, and many are in many good universities across the world and in IITs. Thank you. That's a small journey.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Aerospace is such a field that many of our peers have interest in. So, what advice would you like to give to those who would like to pursue after their BTech from mechanical engineering?
Yeah. So actually, aerospace engineering is, you can consider that as one branch of mechanical engineering. Say it is almost similar when we study in the third semester fluid mechanics, solid mechanics, thermodynamics. All these courses are basics for aerospace engineering. Then we advance the courses, say for example, fluid mechanics, then we go to aerodynamics. Then we go to the compressible flow, that is gas dynamics. Then we study computational fluid dynamics. Then further high speed, that is hypersonic flow theory. So every course, if you take solid mechanics, then aircraft structures one, aircraft structures two, then vibration and aeroelasticity, fatigue and fracture mechanics, like that we go. So every mechanical engineer can study nicely the aerospace engineering and can do research in aerospace engineering. But only thing is, it's all about your passion towards the aerospace engineering, right? So my sincere advice is, if you are really interested in pursuing in aerodynamics, aircraft structures, or propulsion, and if you are good in mathematics, it is recommended to join in aerospace engineering. But one small caution here. Everyone think that aerospace engineering is like immediately doing something on flying and doing something on rocket science. Not really, because in the engineering course we all study many engineering courses. Say sometimes I may specialize in aerodynamics and I can become a wind turbine engineer. Some students may specialize in aircraft structures and they can become a structural engineer on buildings. someone who do very well in propulsion engineering, they can join in some thermal engineering companies. There are a lot of possibilities. We should not keep that eye right only on aerospace or on the aircrafts and space vehicles. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. So, our next question is, sir, as you have done your higher studies in and research in Japan, so what are the similarities and differences that you have noticed in the educational system of Japan as compared to India?
Yeah. So in Japan, there are there is no difference between the government university and the private universities. Say in terms of facilities, in terms of professors, everyone excel in their own domain. Uh, Say in India also now there are very good universities. There, like if you see, there is no differences, and they are growing par with IITs, right? And there the educational system is almost say I when I was doing my PhD, there was a master student. Her name is Masiyama. So she like we were working on a particular software. Then the software it is like TechPlot we used to do, right? But that is like some 15 years back. TechPlot is one of the new software for every one of us. So she want to do some calculation and some flow analysis. I mean flow representation using TechPlot. What she did is she said, please wait. I will go to the store and buy the software and we will learn. She went to the university store and she bought one TechPlot. And another 3 or 4 days, she learned by herself using the help menu, and she was doing research plots on that particular software. In our case, whenever I say to the engineering kids to learn a software, they ask the next question, sir, which company or which center I can go and learn? I am sure we are really capable of doing it by our own. And in the Japanese trains, they write something. Say, for example, 9 multiplied by 9 is Nihonjin. Nihonjin means Japanese. 99 multiplied by 99 is Indojin. Indojin means Indians. They have a thinking that Indians are so strong in mathematics. My professor usually say, whatever experiment you do, whatever computational calculation you do, as an Indian, you should do something on mathematical modeling. So that is the thinking about India. So the education system is in such a way that they are like our maybe some 400 500 years back how India was, right? We just start and we learn and we excel in the particular domain, and they are doing that now, and we are progressing.
Yeah. Sir, we have also come to know that you are involved in many of the researches. So could you please give a brief description of your work?
Yeah, you're talking about my research work, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I do research on aerodynamics. Say it is almost simply I can say when you walk on a particular land, you will walk freely. Assume that you are inside a swimming pool. When you want to walk inside the swimming pool, you feel the resistance, right? That resistance is because of the increase in density of water, right? Similarly, when the airplane flies in the air, you have a drag force and, of course, associated lift force and other things. So I do research on the experimental aerodynamics. I do measure pressure on the surface of the body, and then I calculate the forces acting on the body. And my ultimate aim is to reduce the drag force, right? Usually we study flow separation in the fluid mechanics. We try to delay the flow separation, and what we do is like flow control devices we try to do. it is an active device or passive device, whatever it is. So if we control the flow, if we reduce the drag, it means that we are reducing the direct operating cost of the aircraft or the airline industry. So such a correlation is really strong, and hence I do research on aerodynamics. So I got some good projects from the Department of Science and Technology, Science Engineering Research Board, and my university supports some project on research and modernization fund, and they gave huge money. I mean, initially the grant is around 50 lakh rupees for establishing. So I bought good equipments from US. It is almost like you might have heard about Scanival Corporation from US. They use multi-channel pressure scanner. So I bought 164 multi-channel pressure scanner, and we and our students play with it and generate huge amount of data, and we do a lot of analysis. Also, we collaborate with the Center for Nonlinear Science and Engineering because we encounter nonlinear data, and we enjoy research.
Thank you, sir. Sir, so coming back to your research projects, as you have done a lot of research in projects like innovative engineering designs, experimental aerodynamics, wind engineering, etc. So, what has been your favorite topic of research till now?
Yeah, experimental aerodynamics is my favorite area because recently everyone think that the computer can replace everything, and everyone do computational analysis, computational calculation, computational visualization, computational measurement. But I believe in experiment because even it is very difficult, it consumes more time, but we can see the real thing which is happening in front of us. So, when we show how this total pressure is behaving, how the static pressure is behaving using a Pitot static tube with a pressure measuring technique in the wind tunnel, the students say, wow, sir, it is wonderful. So such things are really, you can do a mathematics, you can do a Bernoulli's equation, and you can say whatever the simulated data, but when you see the fluctuation in the manometer, that's very interesting. So that's my favorite, experimental aerodynamics.
Yes, sir. It seems very fascinating as well to all of us. So, our next question is, sir, when we usually hear about aerospace, we think about organizations like ISRO, NASA, ESA, then SpaceX, and all. And people generally tend to think about only the finished projects, the projects that are done in the final, like the NASA's Perseverance rover or the SpaceX, the Falcon, and all. So, and people generally they are not aware about the hard work and the various sectors that are associated with it in the background. So, the question is, how difficult is it to pursue aerospace as a career, and what are the challenges in the field?
Yeah. So when you say aerospace, there is really a limited number of opportunities. If you want to enter into ISRO or DRDO, when you see the vacancy position, maybe few numbers per year. So I usually recommend my students not to rely only on the government companies. There are many private companies. Presently, Boeing India, Airbus India, Reliance Aerospace, BrahMos, right? Lockheed Martin India Private Limited, if you see, Aron Aerospace. So, lot of aerospace companies are coming. They are coming up in India. And also, there is some good partnership between private government, and there are a lot of aerospace industry parks are established by the government now for promoting the aerospace industry. So my recommendation is, even though the aerospace industry is booming, don't rely only on direct aerospace companies. Say if you say how many wind turbine companies in the world, you can count many numbers. Aerospace engineer can work on aerodynamics of wind turbine. Aerodynamics engineer know much better than any other engineer on aerodynamics of wind turbine, right? So mechanical engineer know very well on the structural aspects, right? So aerodynamics of blades, structural aspects of blades, one can work in the wind turbine companies. And we also should not hesitate to excel in the software industry, right? Now you know very well there are a lot of developments in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and all those. So I recommend the engineering kids to equip with all these knowledge, and they can find a lot of opportunities in many companies. I usually ask this question in the class. Tell me in which domain a aerospace engineer cannot join. They cannot say anything. They say something, but I used to say, no, no, there is a possibility. In the medical industry, we can work on computational fluid dynamics. There are professors, great professors and scientists, they have designed heart valves using the computational fluid dynamics, right? And the blood flow simulation, all these things done by aerospace engineers, mechanical engineers. So in general, I say that don't think that there is a very limited opportunity for your domain and you can explore further.
Yeah, so Kami, apart from diving into the deeps of aerospace, aerodynamics, and aerospace, what are the other career options available in India in the field?
Yeah. So, of course, one can become a scientist and one can become an engineer. Moreover, there are one more option called aircraft maintenance engineering, right? So usually you need to get a license from Director General of Civil Aviation, and you can still work on the aircraft industry as a maintenance engineer. I know I was when I was a engineering student, bachelor student, I went to Begumbat Airport in Hyderabad to do my internship. I remember there was one engineer. He used to do non-destructive testing on the engine blades, engine compressors, and all those. And I know I asked him which area you belong to. I mean, which domain you belong to. He said that he is basically from thermal engineering. And he said when I was doing my BTech, I was very much fond of thermal engineering. Then I studied my masters in thermal engineering. But I did my course on non-destructive testing, and then I became a non-destructive testing engineer in the in Indian Airlines that time, right? So there is no limitation, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for your kind answer. Now, my question is, sir, can you tell us about some institutions in India and abroad where we can pursue higher studies in this field, that is aerospace field?
Yeah, in aerospace engineering, if you say in IIT Madras, IIT Kanpur, IIT Kharagpur, Indian Institute of Science Bangalore, and our university, even Sastra University, offer MTech program in aerospace engineering and PhD in aerospace engineering. Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology offer the courses in aerospace engineering. And there are many private universities also there in India where they offer aerospace engineering. And I remember many of my say bachelor students and even master students, they moved to different universities across the globe. Say Monash Research Academy, we can say University of Illinois, Polytechnic di Milano, University of Dayton, right? Then we can say something like even Stanford, Imperial College London, Nanyang Technical University, National University of Singapore, Curtin University, then University of North Dakota. Even there is like that. There are many universities. So like there is no limitation. So even in Japan, if you say there are many students, they have done some internship and then they got master's program in University of Tokyo, Kyoto University, something like there are some university they may not have the department of aerospace engineering, but they do a lot of research on applied sciences, and that applied sciences comes under say fluid dynamics domain or structural domain or propulsion domain, right? And in Korea University, Konkuk University, Korean Institute for Advanced Sciences, like that. So there are many universities across the world. They offer a good MTech program, master's program, and a PhD program. So most of the time, I recommend the students to do well in the BTech and get a scholarship for masters. I really don't. It's my personal opinion. I really don't recommend the students to pay huge money and pursue master program or PhD program from a abroad university. If you are joining an Indian Institute of Technology, many of my students are there in IIT Madras and other IITs. They join there and they get scholarship, and then they pursue their degree, and they try to find a job in Robert Bosch, Rockwell Collins, like that. So my recommendation is, like, you can find a good university and then talk to the professor in that particular lab and try to find the scholarship, and then you can decide.
Yes, sir. So, according to your opinion, what should be the main skill set of a student pursuing aerospace engineering?
Could you please repeat that?
Yeah, according to your opinion, what should be the main skill set of a student that require while pursuing aerospace engineering?
No, I couldn't understand the question.
Yeah, main set of skills.
Main set of skills, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I recommend, if you are good in mathematics, you can do wonderful in aerospace engineering. If you are interested in physics, you can do wonders in aerospace engineering. While doing aerospace engineering or while doing mechanical engineering, because I work in School of Mechanical Engineering, many BTech students from mechanical engineering, they join in my laboratory, and they do research, they publish papers, and then they ask me recommendation. Sir, could you please give me a recommendation letter? And then I give recommendation, and they go to very good universities in US, Europe, and many places. The set of skills I always recommend is, you should be good in any one fluid dynamic domain, right? Normally in the ANSYS, we do the fluid dynamic analysis on Fluent, right? Similarly, the structural analysis on multiphysics. Now the ANSYS workbench consists of everything. If one have an ANSYS, you can do anything: thermal analysis, structural analysis, fluid dynamic analysis, whatever analysis you want, you can do. Now, if you are very much skilled in ANSYS, so my recommendation is one geometric software, one analysis software, apart from your experimental skills. Say if you are good in ANSYS, and when you are going for interview in some company, and if they are asking, say they are working on some other own software, for example in finite element analysis, then if you are skilled in ANSYS, you can tell them confidently, sir, I am very good in ANSYS. Give me 1 month time, I will excel in your software. End of the day, the graphical user interface varies, right? Other than that, everything is same. When you solve the stiffness matrix, it becomes same. In computational fluid dynamics, continuity equation, momentum equation, energy equation is same. The methodology of solving is different, and the graphical user interface is different. So the point is, the skill set, apart from the experiment, you should be very strong in a geometric software, geometric modeling and analysis. Analysis, fluid, thermal, structural. Then that's all. You can go around the world, in my opinion.
Thank you, sir, for your advice. We will surely keep that in mind. So next, I want to ask that, sir, as we know that presently the information technology sector is on an exponential rise. So we wanted to know if computational knowledge like coding and all is interlinked with aerospace, and in what way?
Yeah. So, okay. So there is a lot of correlation. Whenever we collect some data experimentally, then the students play with the data with the programming. They do programming in MATLAB, some do in C, C++, and so on. The basic programs. So the thing is, the basic program knowledge is enough to enter into the any software industry probably. If you are so much passionate about coding, right? Whenever you see ANSYS, you are seeing only the graphical user interface, right? What is behind the ANSYS, right? You need to write a program to solve all the problems, right? So I remember many of my friends, my students, they go to the software companies and they do coding. They do coding on engineering domain. Most of the time, our engineering kids believe that they can, they really don't want to go to software side. Sir, I am a mechanical engineer. I am an aerospace engineer. Why I need to sit for a placement? They ask. It is not like that, because in the software industry you can do a lot of work on engineering domain in your own domain probably. Only thing is you need to get a chance into your own domain, right? So I always recommend join in a company, work there for 1 year, 2 year. But some students they call me after 2 years, sir, I am really bored of doing this coding. Can you recommend me to some good university abroad, and can you guide me like that? Then it's okay. If you are very strong, very good, if your attitude is very good in pursuing whatever you want, you can do it. And surprisingly, he was that one of my student. He joined in finally Stanford University in data science. And I asked him, why data science? No, I heard that there is a lot of demand. No, you are telling that you are bored with the software. No, sir, this is entirely different. I really enjoy playing with the data. So it doesn't matter whether you are a mechanical engineer, aerospace engineer. You can do excel in software industry also.
Sir, what are the similarities and differences you noticed in the field of mechanical engineering and in the field of aerospace engineering?
Yeah. So mechanical engineering has not little, very wide scope, right? Say, for example, if you do BTech in mechanical engineering, you can come to MTech in aerospace engineering, MTech thermal engineering, MTech engineering design, MTech digital manufacturing, MTech additive manufacturing, all those. Of course, aerospace engineer also can go to even digital manufacturing and some courses on engineering design or applied sciences and so on. But the perception of a aerospace engineering student is that is very much limited towards aerospace industry, but mechanical engineering is not, right? mechanical engineering Mechanical engineer can think about the automotive industry, aerospace industry, the wind turbine industry, thermal area, energy sector, now data science, artificial intelligence, and so on. So basically, I think the thing is like mechanical has a wide scope, aerospace has some limited scope, but the number of students who pursue aerospace engineering is also very limited when compared to the mechanical engineering. And hence the things are working good so far.
Thank you, sir. Our next question is, as we are doing a BTech in mechanical engineering, so
Yeah.
what are the particular subjects that we should have a greater understanding and concept if we wish to make a transition from mechanical to aerospace in the future?
Yeah. So I really don't say some subject. Anyway, you have joined in the BTech mechanical engineering, right? I recommend you to enjoy, excel in all the subjects. Okay, specifically, if you have very good interest in aerospace engineering, you may do very well in fluid mechanics, solid mechanics, thermodynamics, thermal engineering. But production engineering, manufacturing engineering has a lot of scope in aerospace engineering. There is no limitation, right? So my point is, don't think that you can come to aerospace if you concentrate much on some subjects. No. If you do very well in all the subjects in mechanical engineering BTech, probably you can introduce new area of research in aerospace engineering later, right? So anyway, you need to score the credits, right? So there is one option, whether you enjoy the subject and you get that credit, right? So I recommend you to explore and enjoy all, uh, you know, all the syllabus, because the syllabus is designed by the experts. So I recommend you study all the subjects nicely and come to aerospace, right?
Yes, sir. As we all know that during the pandemic, many of the colleges are closed, and the core engineering branches are suffering a lot due to the lack of practical hands-on experience. How do you think this is going to affect the core branch students, and how do we neutralize it?
Yeah. Yes, the situation was not good. Now it is getting better. But my point is, I think the 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 human race has faced a lot of difficulties in centuries and centuries. I think so. It doesn't matter. Say for a mechanical engineer or aerospace engineer, um, of course you couldn't come to the thermal engineering lab or aerodynamics lab to perform experiments. That's true. But there are in our university we do something like, we do it online, we collect data, we share it with the students, and the students do the calculation. Like that we have managed to certain extent, right, within our limit we have done that. For your information, the pandemic didn't stop the very good students who want to go further, right? Who want to pursue higher studies or who want to join in good companies. It has never stopped. Even now, there are good companies, they take good students. The only thing is, we should understand the limitation. If you understand the limitation, you may concentrate more on your learning, right? More on your reading, right? And there are a lot of tools now in the laboratory. Whatever you do, you can do it in the YouTube probably, is it not? And there are a lot of open coursewares, nptel. So I think there is some limitation, I understand, but um, but that cannot stop you. That's my point.
Thank you a lot for your answer. So our next question is, how have your BTech days back in college shaped you as the person that you are today?
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's really a different story, right? When you are in BTech, the world is yours, right? I was also, I was very happy when I see your mechanical engineering society, because I served as a chairman for my aeronautical society during my college days. It was very interesting. You know, we learn not only the subject in the, especially in the BTech, right? We have a lot of friends. The hostel life is really memorable, and the professors who taught the very basic. I remember one of my professor, Dr. Srinivasan Boti. He used to teach aerodynamics. He say aerodynamics. He say, he is so fond of that subject, and he was a doctorate, and at that time itself he was around 65 years old. But he teach in such a way, the I really take him as an inspiration every time. So he, like such persons, they molded us, and he made such interest on aerodynamics actually. So he teach aerodynamics in such a way that everyone can understand simply. He say pressure, and he say some of the air molecules above your head acting, and that comprises the static pressure, he say, the air molecular collision. So such teachers made our life so beautiful, so strong. That made me to do masters in aerodynamics, PhD in aerodynamics. I did continuously. When I did BTech, next month I joined in masters, and in masters I defended my MS thesis. Next month I joined in PhD, and in the PhD I completed, and the next month I joined as a postdoctoral fellow. And once I complete that, then next month I joined in the industry. Then after 1 year or so, then I joined in the university, like that. So all these things, the basic is given in the BTech actually. The motivation, how much motivation you have, is because of your BTech course actually. Not only for you, for us, I think everyone, especially the engineering university BTech, nobody can forget, right? And you do a lot of mischievous things in the laboratories. You are so curious what will happen at a very high RPM in the wind tunnel. The wind tunnel produces a good amount of streamlined air. We run the wind tunnel, open the test section, and put the hand and see how it works. So all those things are really memorable. And now when the students in the laboratory, if they do that, we are very happy. They are no more different from us, and that's really good time. Yeah, I can say many professors, but I very I know the inspiration which was given by Dr. Srinivasan Poti. So I remember his name. And many friends, they are in very good companies, institutions. Some of my friends in Queen's University of Belfast, UK, some in software companies, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Indian Space Research Organization, and some more teaching in good universities. So you cannot judge anyone, inside the campus actually. Somebody will become a great man in the later stage, right? So the university life is really enjoyable. I recommend you to enjoy by, apart from learning, I recommend you to enjoy the university life. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir, for giving an insight about your campus life. All of us are missing our campus because due to the pandemic, our campus has been closed off. So none of us has
Yeah.
gone to college, and it was really refreshing to hear about your experience. So here we come to the end of today's session, sir. Thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing your valuable experience and knowledge with us. It has been very insightful and will definitely help all the young minds looking forward to pursuing a career in aerospace. With
Yeah.
this, we end our podcast today. Thank you again, sir. Thank you for being here with us.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I have already shared my website and details. So anything you can contact me if any suggestion on aerospace engineering or any advice. Right. All the best for your future, and don't think that you are in home due to pandemic, and soon you will meet your professors, meet your laboratory. Right. You will go to the university. All the best. Thank you very much for inviting. Good day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.